Uh-oh, Melody's over here texting again. She is getting the answers and the questions. People are texting into her phone number. If you want to text her a question, just dial 1-900-555-5555. And it's only $45 per text.
Stop it. No, you know, everybody has our phone numbers.
Or is it that 867-5309?
Yeah, 1-800-EAT-HEALTHY.
You know, people actually had that phone number years ago. Remember that song, 8675309?
Yeah, but you know, with this new generation, they wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, they don't know what it is. But they actually stopped that phone number from being produced.
Actually, I did have a text that came in, and this lady is asking, my doctor keeps stressing that I should get more protein. I'm eating as many beans as I can. What can I do? So this person evidently is on a plant-based diet, and they're using beans as their protein.
Well, their doctor is saying they need more protein, which I would first disagree with the doctor. And I just did a program on this, and the guys, the people who discovered how much protein the average body should actually have, they did all these studies of people, found out the highest level of protein that anybody should ever possibly need. And they took that number and they doubled that. That's what they recommended to the World Health Organization. Okay. And then those people doubled that. Now the average for a man is 55 grams a day, average woman is 44. So actually it's probably only supposed to be 11.
It's very low.
But they doubled it and doubled it. So, and too much protein is causing everything from kidney damage to kidney stones. It's linked with Alzheimer's now. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
So basically, she's getting enough of her protein.
She's probably getting plenty.
But the doctor feels like she needs more.
She's not getting the right advice.
But there are a lot of things that you can do for. Oh, I have another one.
Some people do feel better when they get protein, though.
And if they, I tell people, you know, tofu is a great source of protein. There's protein in almost all our fruits and vegetables, but beans are the highest. The highest are your lentils.
You think she's one of those vegans that just needs that little burst of protein now and then to kind of perk up her energy levels?
That could. Hey, I have a gentleman from Texas who just
Texas,
Mr. Texas.
I don't have my hat. Mr. Texas
says, "What can I substitute for butter?"
Oh well, that's an easy one. You got that one.
You know what? I don't
Where do
use butter. For me, if I want something on my toast, you know, for a lot of people, they want the butter on bread. That's what I'm thinking here. I use avocado. I just mash up a little avocado.
You got the exact one I was going to mention.
Yeah, and if it's cooking with it, I just eliminate it. I mean, sorry, I just eliminate the butter. It's pure fat, and margarine is one molecule shy of plastic.
Right.
So I really try to eliminate those.
There are margarines that are not butter.
Right.
Earth Balance, things like that. We use that from time to time. Another way that you can make a butter substitute is to take coconut milk and yellow cornmeal. And you're going to mix that together, boil it off, then you put it in the blender and let that baby blend. And if you can get some of that little imitation butter blend flavors.
A lot of that they have at like Gordon Food Service.
There's a few different, and it's all vegan. It's just a butter flavoring. And a couple little spices and boom, you're done with it. And it is a fabulous butter spread that works very well. I'll make sure I get that recipe. I've got one in my
Yeah,
book.
we'll
in
do
my
that,
note.
and we'll put it out on our website. One more, I know we have to go into the kitchen. How do I cook and use fresh pumpkins? I'm so used to opening a can that I don't know what to do with the real thing. I didn't. Off he goes. You know how many times we will be filming live, and Mark just disappears on me. Okay, welcome to the Melody Show. Oh,
Well,
you're so funny.
I just, and this wasn't staged or anything. Let me tell you, this
No,
is just
this is a text that is coming
actual
in.
text from somebody right now. And
Actually, I've got 3 texts, and I mean, this is what's happening, folks. You're telling your friends, you're sharing this information, you're helping us to get out there to help people. It's free to you, and by doing that, people are starting to really text and email us, and that's what we want. We want to answer your questions.
we can't get to everything, but
What are we
do
doing
get
here?
to- well, I don't know. I got them back here, and I want to know what to do with them. Let's go.
Okay, well, this person here wants to know if they don't cook it. I have some. You can put this in the oven, and you can just poke a hole in it, and you can bake it. That's one
Right.
way you can do it. I like to peel it, cut it into cubes, and steam it. So there are different ways that you can actually steam the pumpkin. You make soup out of it. I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
things.
I'm
you
a
can
big
make breads.
cooker. I just want to get that baby cut open, like you said, pop a couple holes in it, and
Throw it
get
in
it
the oven.
cooked off. Then you can pull, you can cut the skin off and get the seeds out
Yeah.
and chop it up. And
Dig it out. That's what I
That's the
normally
best.
do. Butternut.
So-
I use a lot of butternut squash. If I don't have it, I'll use pumpkin.
did we do the stuffed pumpkin? Were you here when we did the stuffed pumpkin segment, where we were stuffing them? I think you were here.
I think I was.
Yeah, we'd stuffed them with rice
Who
and
else
different
would,
things.
Who else would be here with you?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes,
Sometimes he does have a few guests if I'm on the road.
But yeah, you
Nice.
can just cut the top off, hollow it out, and then usually take hot stuffing or hot rice. Whatever, and stuff it, and it helps it cook a lot quicker. And then put the top on last, for the last half hour.
Just
But,
like regular stuffing
stuffed
would be
pumpkins
good
were
in
good.
here. You
Yeah.
know what? For the holiday. That'd be good. I think
Yeah.
we're going to go to the kitchen. Now I'm
Let's
hungry.
do it.
Let's do that. We'll be right back.
Hi, Mark and Melody here in the kitchen to teach you how to do some stuffing. Stuffing.
Wonder what time of year it is.
Well, we're here at Thanksgiving, but you could actually do stuffing anytime you want.
You know,
I
I've
mean,
never understood that, why people don't use
I
stuffing
don't
throughout the
know.
year.
I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
It's just one of those things that why do people do that?
I have no idea.
So we've got some stuffing going on here.
Okay, what
And
do you want me to do?
What you're going to do is just start chop. You can do it by hand if you want.
Okay.
And we're going to take that bowl and just fill it up with busted up pieces of bread. Now, traditionally, you want to use white bread. There are ways to do whole wheat bread, but today we're just showing you the basics. This is just the absolute basics on how to make a great stuffing, and you can use anything you want. And you'll notice that this is not even dried out.
Right.
Where most people just dry it, they'll
Put it in the oven, buy the croutons.
yeah, and it's like you don't need to do that. You really don't. There's a couple advantages to that as far as the moisture getting in there and stuff like that. But I've always thought of it as kind of the amateur way to do things, because commercially in restaurants,
right?
they don't do that. They just don't. We'll get rid of our leftover bread and use it for stuffing and things like that.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that when you have bread left over in a restaurant. I do it at home. I'll keep those ends and pieces that people don't eat. Of course, they haven't touched them. And I'll put them in a bag, freeze them, and use them for stuffing mix. Or use them in a recipe.
Exactly. And in fact, by the way, there's a lot of stuffing things that you can do throughout the year.
Oh, there are.
Everybody in the holiday season, they're stuffing their turkeys, and which is
Why- well,
actually
sometimes we shouldn't do that, should we?
It-
We have to be very careful about stuffing.
it's actually
a turkey.
really dangerous to be stuffing a turkey with bread
It is.
because what happens is the juices from the turkey go into the stuffing, and if that
Mm-hmm.
stuffing is not cooked up to temperature, you're going to end up with your
Bacteria.
bacterias and botulisms and whatever E. coli's or whatever is going on out there. And so
You know, during the holiday, it is the biggest season, I should say, for the hospitals and emergency rooms. heart
Yeah.
disease,
Yeah.
too rich of food. But Mark and I are here to show you a way.
Here's that extra blast of fat clogging up your arteries.
So
yeah,
you can
stuff
have
like
a
that.
Thanksgiving and eliminate the emergency room by eating healthier. So we've got some really good healthy options for you.
Now here's the water I have going. I've got some celery and onion that's boiling in it. That's it. Just water with some diced celery and onion. And then we are going to hit this with some sage, which I've got my rub sage here.
Now, Mark, what is the components for poultry seasoning, which is the most used seasoning during the holidays?
Sage and thyme.
Sage and
That's
thyme.
it. That is it, sage and thyme.
I'm saging you some thyme.
That's the only two ingredients you need in here is sage, thyme. Of course, they're going to do a little bit of the butter, and we've got some earth balance here that we use.
A little?
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't hear me when I told him we were going to sage you some thyme.
Oh, I'm going to sage you some thyme. I got it. And then some salt.
And then some salt, yeah.
So
And
that's
so that's
it.
your basic
That is it.
poultry and your. Now, if I was to go out and buy a package of stuffing mix that you find in the boxes in a lot of your department or your grocery stores, this is what you're going to find. This is the seasoning packet. You add your water and then you put your crumbs or your dried bread in.
Except they'll have
afterwards.
the chemicals and the
Oh yeah.
butters and whey and things like that in
Oh
it as
yes,
well.
yes.
Now, one other thing too with poultry seasoning that you can do, and you'll see this in some of the secret ingredients, is ginger. Sometimes you'll see lemon in there,
Oh,
and
love the
sometimes
lemon.
nutmeg. Sage and thyme is your two key ingredients, and then after that, you can go from there. Rosemary,
Oh, I love a little rosemary.
you know, you can always add other ingredients to this. Of course, rosemary, basil, oregano. You can do Italian seasoning like that, and but that's it. Boom, boom, you're done.
So now you have your seasoning blend, your basic seasoning blend for any stuffing.
Right. In fact, hand me that bowl over there. We'll get some stuffing in here, and I think I'm going to grab a pair of gloves too. We know how
Yeah,
a pair of
they're a
gloves
little
work.
big for me, so they're awkward, but
I like wearing gloves,
I do too in the kitchen.
especially when you're handling stuff like this.
Yeah. I'm going to add some.
Yeah.
That
And I like doing it by hand because you get bigger pieces, smaller pieces. You get a lot more variety. Now I'm going to make one for my wife here, but Brenda does not like the celery and the onions.
Now she likes the
So-
flavor. She just doesn't like the
We're gonna go like
texture of when it's
this.
cooked.
And just pull that out. How's that? Let's see if that works.
Nice.
And
She'll be so happy, Mark.
yeah. And it does take a lot of water to do this.
It does. It really soaks up into the.
And you got a container for me?
I do have a container for you. Why don't we put
And
it
you
in
just
this
want to
one?
make sure that everything is covered.
Now, what are we going to do? Once it's we've got the moisture added to the bread, we've got the seasonings. Are we going to put this in the oven for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful, Mark. Beautiful.
So there's one just like that. Boom. And now we can fill this up with the next round and really fill this one up. I've got a lot of good stuff here for this.
Let me put a little bit more.
Now, can you think of some other ingredients that'll go good in here?
Sure, I can. Rice, cornbread, almonds. Some people even like to put cranberries in theirs and give it a little bit of that sweet and savory at the same time. I love it that way.
Bell pepper,
Oh, I love bell pepper. Yes.
mushrooms,
Love the mushrooms. Definitely. You know
and
what?
I'll add
Which
a little more
reminds me-
stuffing to this.
Let me get some more of this bread out here.
But see, this is that easy. And basically, this stuffing is done, technically. I mean, it's already cooked.
Now, have you tasted it, Mark?
You want me to?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do want you to taste it because you might say, "Oh, I need a little of this or a little of that." It's perfect, right?
Just tastes like stuffing. That's why I said that it is so simple to make stuffing. Boom, 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 with 3 ingredients. You know, it's your butter, your salt, and your sage. That's it. You know, and then you can add and go carry it away from there.
Now you can do the same thing with whole wheat bread. You can do the same thing with gluten-free
Let
bread.
me grab another container over there.
How about if I get you a larger one here?
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, what we're doing today is just showing you the absolute basics.
This is the basic.
This is the absolute basics. And you
Stuffing
can make it like this, and people are going to be happy with it.
You're gonna love it.
But
And
we're
thank
going to
you,
do
Sven.
another episode with the extremes of some really cool things you can do with stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put these in the oven, and it'll take, what do you think?
I would say 20 to 30 minutes, and that depends on your oven, what kind
That's
of
what
temperature
I'm
you
thinking
have.
too.
You can have a convection, a gas, electric. They're all cooked different.
Just crisp
keep
it up on the top?
Just keep an eye. We just want to brown the top of it.
In fact, you can freeze these too.
Sure you can.
Yeah,
Sure you
and
can.
they'll be ready to go. So
All
we'll
right,
put
we'll
these
be
in the
back.
oven. Okay, and what, 20, 30 minutes?
20 or
And
30 minutes.
We'll be back. Okay. Woo. That's a lot of stuffing. You'll notice I put the plastic on it.
I did notice that. Was that to keep moisture in it?
Yeah, and as soon as it comes out of the oven,
Mm-hmm.
if you want it to have a little softer top, just put the saran wrap right on it
Yes.
as it's cooling. And,
It'll always be nice and moist.
Right, or you can see this one's a little crispier on the top.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the crispy tops, that's what you can do. But look how easy it is
I know.
to make stuffing.
Oh, don't we have another one?
Well, we have these right now,
Mm-hmm.
and this was the simple, just the basics. But if you watch our more advanced stuffing, we're going to show you how to make all these other stuffings. Look at this, with cranberries and ones that are in muffin tins and cornbread ones.
Gluten-free.
So-
This is gluten-free.
Right. And stuffed pumpkins. So make sure you look at that next episode, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Hi, Mark Anthony here, and I'm here to talk to you real quick about some of the problems there are with eating a high protein diet. And there's a lot of people out there that are doing this high protein diet, this paleo diet, and some of these things like that, and they don't realize the significant problems that go along with it. Now, while the body needs protein, excessive amounts of protein can be very damaging. And so I've got a couple little websites I want to show you here real quick and give you an idea what's happening here. This right here is healthyliving.sfgate.com. Sometimes they've got some pretty good stuff here. Other times, you know, I watch everything. A lot of times there's truth mingled with error, but just wanted to share with you 3 problems associated with too much protein. And by the way, on the side over here, you can see where they've got toddlers and too much protein, safe upper intake levels of protein, having to deal with stomach problems and things like that. Problems with consuming too few carbohydrates. I love this. The guy's sleeping. I should do a whole show just on that. And does too much protein and fat keep you awake? Which it actually does, because of the way that the body processes it. So anyway, under the 3 problems associated with protein here, weight gain is associated with too much protein, reduced liver and brain function, which is pretty interesting, and then high cholesterol. So that was very interesting. That when you look up things on the internet, you'll find 100,000 things that say how you need to have a high protein diet, and you'll have 10,000 things that say how you need to have a low protein diet. And so I tend to go with where the majority of the people are not going. If the majority of the people are doing it, it's generally a key indicator that you should not be doing it. It's just the way it is. I stay away from what the massive amounts of people are doing. So, and if we go to this next, this is Mercola, which has a lot of problems with their websites as well. But other things, they've got it right on. And by Dr. Mercola, with the popularity of high protein diets, you might be tempted to believe you simply can't overeat protein. But the truth is that consuming excessive protein can actually be quite detrimental to your health. And let me tell you, it certainly can. And she talks about the kidney damage here, and Excessive protein may fuel weight gain, yeast overgrowth, and cancer. So, and the list goes on. Lowering your protein intake may extend your lifespan. And, people that don't eat high protein diets live a longer life. So, but I wanted to do some serious homework. I wanted to really go to the extreme here. Now, this right here is your PubMed government, U.S. National Library of Medicine. A lot of technical information here that I'm not going to get into, but let me tell you, right here, this is one of their technical effects of dietary protein, and additional analysis confirm a long time to renal failure in patients with lower total protein intake. And over, there's a number of these technical pages here. Here's another one. These secondary analyses are consistent with a beneficial effect of the lower protein diet. And what's happening is people that have kidney damage, kidney failure, the lower the protein diet is, the longer their life is. And which is kind of interesting, because anybody that's on a renal diet in the hospitals, they put them on a high protein diet. And I would say the majority of the doctors, by far, anytime there's a renal patient with kidney failure, they put them on a high protein diet. And there's specific, discoveries out there that the lower the protein diet for renal kidney failure patients, the longer their life is going to be, and sometimes 40% longer before they have total complete failure with their kidneys. And but here it is. Protein is one of the causes of kidney damage, yet everybody's going on these high protein diets, and it's just ridiculous. And and right here, the Mayo Clinic talks about how protein is one of the causes of kidney damage and kidney stones. This is the Mayo Clinic.org. And here's the causes and the types. Now, there are different types of kidney stones too. By the way, too much calcium causes kidney stones as well. Uric acid stones can form in people who don't drink enough fluids or who lose too much fluid, and those who eat a high protein diet. Let me tell you, everywhere we turn, we're finding out more and more problems with having these high protein diets. And I got the kicker right here. This is the one that's going to blow you away. This is the new news that you only find here. And this is all from the National Institute on Aging. Check this out. It is very interesting. National Institute on Aging. What are the main characteristics of the brain with Alzheimer's disease? Let's just take a look at this. Common characteristic here. This amyloid found in the spaces between the neurons, plaque, consists predominantly of abnormal deposits of protein fragments called beta amyloids. And so these beta amyloids is formed when the breakdown of the large protein called amyloid, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, of protein. So here we go. People with Alzheimer's have the consistent characteristic that they all have this high protein problem in their brains. So who's to say, let's get off this protein and the numbers of Alzheimer's diseases decreases. Now, nobody knows this kind of stuff. Nobody. You just don't find this kind of information out there. But it's right here. It's in the National Institute on Aging. And over time, you watch, over the next few years, people are going to realize more and more about this, and they're going to discover more and more, and they're going to find out that high protein diets is one of the causes of Alzheimer's. And if you look at the history, look at how the way protein has increased in society, animal products has increased in consumption. We have the highest consumption ever of animal proteins in society, and Alzheimer's is increasing exactly with it. And these are the type of things that I really like to pay attention to and point out to you, because our society is just being bombarded. Eat lots of protein, good for you, and it's really not. You know, and by the way, you are going to get so much protein from all these plant-strong fruits and vegetables. It's a molecule. It's in everything. There's different amino acids and things like that, of course. But let me tell you, you are never, ever going to have a problem not getting enough protein. Even bodybuilders, you're not going to have that kind of problem. So do your homework, and you'll find out that the intelligent way to eat is a plant-strong lifestyle and not getting into these excessive amounts of protein. So, Mark Anthony, we'll see you next time.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Mark and Melody in the Kitchen, where we are in stuffing extravaganza.
Stuff. If you haven't seen our episode, we just did a segment about just the simplicity, the basics when it comes to stuffing, how you can make your basic recipe, and now we're just going to get a little more advanced and show some people some really cool things that they can do with stuffing.
You just don't know how much variety there is in something as simple as stuffing. And so we're
It's
going to
true.
show you. Yeah, we're going to show you some things.
Yeah.
And Mark, I love this. People cut their celery and they throw away the top.
Right.
I use the top. I don't throw away any.
And this is actually one of the best things to go in the actual stuffing. And of course, you can make it as fine or as big as you want here. So
Nice. Well, you know, the pan with the red handle over there, if you want to throw some
All right.
celery and onion in there for me, we're going to get that going while we're doing something else. Love this.
I'm going to just do the whole thing because I
Why
like
not?
celery.
Oh, I did wash it ahead of time.
Oh no! You washed all the nutrients off of it?
No, I just washed it though.
All right, so you want some, what in
I
here?
do. I want some celery and onion in that pot.
So what do you think? I'm gonna, because you're doing a special one back here, right?
Yes, I am.
So probably about that much
Right.
celery,
You know I love
some
my
onion.
onions.
Oops. Actually, I put
yeah.
too much in. Here, I think we'll just use all this, right?
Oh, a little more. Yeah,
Okay.
can't get too much onion.
Boom, just like that. There we go. Okay.
Now tell me.
Tell me where my towels are. Boom, I
What
got
are
one right
you
there.
going to do here? What's your first one?
Well, we're going to get this boiling off here real quick. I do need some flavor, of course.
Right.
Just like last time, we're going to run with some thyme. And what's the second ingredient?
Let me see. Would it be sage? By any
Sage.
chance?
Exactly. Thyme and sage. And let me tell you, sage is your #1 key ingredient when it comes to stuffing. Thyme and sage is what's in your poultry seasonings. Now,
That's
a
the
lot
main
of seasonings are going to have the ground savory. So I'm putting a shot of ground savory in there.
I love the ground savory. It's good.
A lot of poultry seasonings are actually going to have nutmeg. So I'm putting a shot of nutmeg in there. A lot of poultry seasonings also have ginger. So I'm
Just a
putting
little,
a nice
right?
little shot of ginger in there. And then, of course, you do have your rosemary.
Oh, yes. I love
You
the
can
rosemary.
run with your Italian seasonings. You've got your oregano. You've got your basil. Just like that. Of course, we do need a little bit of salt. But I'm not going to put a lot in there because we're going to hit this with some of this McKay's chicken style seasoning.
And that's the vegan special, right, Mark?
Right.
No MSG, no whey.
But it does have salt in it.
It does
is
have
a
sodium.
sodium-driven flavor. So, but basically, that's a chicken broth.
That's a chicken. That's a stock.
So if you were doing like, there's a lot of vegan chicken broths out there. Chickenless, I think it's
Chickenless,
Chickenless, right? And do we want some butter in here?
You do. I don't. But I won't
So-
put any in mine.
Well, let me put a shot in here then.
Okay.
Because
And this is not real butter. This is Earth Balance, which is a vegan
Right.
blend. It does have fat, but for people who do use some of the fat, that is a better version to go. with.
right, and it's really not a lot for such a big pot here. I went mild on it for you.
Yeah, I noticed how mild that was. That's why I used to have hips the size of him and I.
Yeah, but look at this girl. I don't know if you've seen her lately, but she has lost another. I went on the road. I went on a trip for 2.5 months. I come back and she's down another 20 pounds. I think every time I leave, she's going to lose more weight. And you know,
Good. Is it time for you to go?
I'll be coming back home and it's going to be like, Melody, where are you?
I'm like, I'm standing right here in front of you. You just can't see me anymore.
Yeah, you're hiding behind a pole.
Oh, I've got 20 more pounds to go.
Yeah,
Oh,
but doing
wait.
fantastic.
20 pounds
fantastic.
to go. Throw that lid on there for me, Mark.
Okay.
I want that to steam.
You need to
and
get that heated
blend
up.
together. Now, what do you want me to do here? Do you want something
I do
cut
want to
up?
get some red pepper
Okay.
in here. Let's grab this little container that I have behind me that it's a muffin tin. It's a brand new invention of a muffin tin. And
Do you want me to spray it a little bit?
yeah, because we're gonna make some stuffing with the, and put them in this tin here
Okay,
and
and
do something different.
how about, do you need a bowl? Now, what bread do you want in there, Mark?
Well,
I've got a varieties of bread here,
You've
folks.
got so many things
I've got
going
the
on.
white bread here, hard crusted bread. Oh, these are really so good when you're doing a stuffing. I also have a cornbread that we made, a vegan cornbread. We can give you the recipe for
well,
that.
I think we're gonna start and take that whole container up
This
here. Give me
whole
that whole
container.
thing.
Okay.
And we're just gonna do this whole thing all at once here. Say when?
When? Let's try that.
One good thing to do when you're making stuffing like this, you can always make a little bit extra because you can always add more bread to
You
it.
sure can.
If you need more water, I've always got a backup water here. So
Mm-hmm.
if you do run a little short on this mixture and it's still too dry,
It's still too
you
dry?
can just hit it with a little bit of regular water in order to get the moisture content that you're looking for. But we've got more of this, so
Good.
I'm going to give it to you.
I think that did it right there.
What do you think?
Oh, yes. Facial.
Oh, man.
Savory facial.
This smells so good.
Mark, this smells so wonderful.
The neighbors are going to be knocking on the door. If you hear our puppy, we know that the neighbors have smelled this.
Yes, and her.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Mark and I are in the kitchen in the studio cooking, and if Sandy, Mark and Brenda's dog, is out in the other room, guess what? She starts barking because she can smell all these wonderful
Yeah.
flavors.
Now the trick to it when you're actually using bread that has not been dried out is not to over mix it
Mix it.
or you're just going to turn it
Mush.
apart. So you kind of want to just do more of a folding.
Okay.
And that's all sprayed?
Yes, I always spread
Okay.
it.
So we're just going to take big old scoops like that.
Now, Mark, everything is really cooked in here, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven, about 350 for 20, 25 minutes. It depends on the variation of your oven. You might have a convection. Altitude has a lot to do with cooking. We just want to really brown this and set it in, don't we? Mm-hmm. All right.
And I'm going to let you fine tune it because you got the gloves on right now and I'm just going to get you the pieces over here.
All right.
This is a fun way. This is really a fun way.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine sitting down at the dinner table with your own little muffin of
Right. Everybody gets a little individual portion.
they do. It looks so beautiful.
And what do you think? Is that enough for you?
I think so.
I'm going to pull that back then.
Yes.
Man, I could eat this just like this.
Why not?
That is so good.
All right, now
Okay.
I
Now I'm going
like
to put
the
some
look.
peppers in this one.
Now I'm going to throw this one in the oven while you're
Oh,
doing
in
that.
fact, you know what? Here,
What?
bring that back
A
over
little
here.
pepper on top.
Here, I've got some almonds here. What do you think?
Oh, a little sliver. Yes, yes.
Little almonds, and they'll probably toast a little bit. So just needed something, didn't it?
It did.
That's why I like using the red bell pepper because it does give it a little color.
Do you want any on
No,
this?
I'm
You're
fine.
good to go.
Traditionally, people are not going to use bell pepper in their stuffing, but to give yourself a little color, it works great. And
All right.
or you can use even tomato. You can take tomatoes and just pull the seeds out and just use the meat of it, and you'll get color out of that as well. So, okay, what do we need to do next?
You know what, Mark? We've got a pumpkin over here. I'd love to stuff that pumpkin.
Yeah, you want to stuff it with some rice?
Let's put a little rice.
I knew
We're
she
gonna-
was going to do that.
I'm a rice girl. Now this is a blend that I make where I take a cup of organic brown rice, and I take another cup, but I put the black wild rice, I put the red rice, and I make a combination there, and then I do a half cup of quinoa.
Okay, I was wondering because I knew something different was
Yeah,
in there.
and I mix it all together, put my seasonings in, put it in my rice cooker, grain cooker, and off I go. So it's awesome that way. How's that taste? Just
Yummy.
like itself. It's
That'll
just
work.
a savory. Now, do you want a little bread with this? You want one of the
Any way you want to do it.
Why don't we add
And you can do the whole wheat.
this?
You know, a
is
lot of
whole
people
wheat.
don't do whole wheat when it comes to stuffing because it will fall apart. Let me tell you. In fact, if you want to put a little bit of white in there,
I am.
But you just don't want to mix this up. If you really start agitating it is when it really starts falling apart.
It's a little gluten-free.
So it's a little more challenging. You want some of this? We're
I
just going to
do.
go with the same mixture here.
I do.
And I'm guessing about like that.
That looks good. Maybe a little more.
And then what we did here is we just took a pumpkin, hollowed it out. That easy.
Now we're going to bake this in the
Little more?
oven yes, a little more.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, I love the red pepper in here. And with that wild rice blend, wow.
Yeah, the red pepper just goes that
And
color.
I don't
with
want to
it.
mix it too much, Mark. I just want to evenly coat the moisture with the bread and the rice.
Let me get my gloves on.
And then we're going to put it right there in that pumpkin.
Just because this kind of gives me a little heat barrier to,
I don't want to make too big of a mess, but I can't see that side of it. Now do we need
Yeah,
to...
you're doing good.
Doing good?
Yep. Nice part about doing this is probably going to take a good hour and a half in the oven. Now, if you use cold stuffing, like you were using it from the day before or something, it's going to take
Longer.
even longer. So when you use a hot stuffing, it's going to get done a lot quicker. This is not going to go in the oven until
Right.
the last half hour.
And then you'll place
That way
it on
would
just to...
boom, right on top. So I'll set this aside, and we've got that one ready to go. In fact, if you want to make another one with that other one and just fill up the rest of that, we could do that easy.
I will do.
That easy.
You know what? I'm going to pour it right in here. I don't want to waste it.
Oh, how about some mushrooms in there then?
Yes, I love
Here, I'll just put a
portobellos.
handful of mushrooms in there.
That almost tastes like you've got a little bit of meat texture to it whenever you're eating it. It is really awesome.
And the other nice part about doing this, if you're going to do stuffing, you can do big batches of stuffing and then put it in the freezer. You know, you can
Save
put it
it.
in baggies after it's cooked or before it's cooked. Either way, and it works great. In fact, another good thing, let's say you've got a container and you want to refire it when it comes to stuffing. Just pour water in it. And once the water is kind of like above the bread level, then you just throw it in the oven and it will actually just absorb right into it. Okay, you want to do this in here instead of the pumpkin? Okay, we're going to save the pumpkin. Now see how much moisture is in this? This one's having a lot more moisture in here.
And that's okay because when it bakes, it's
The
going...
only thing it's going to take is longer to cook.
That's right.
Right.
You know, that is
Ooh,
absolutely...
that
That
one's
is beautiful.
Oops. Oops, I accidentally put some almonds on there.
Oops, oops.
Okay, there you go, just like that.
Okay.
And so this one's going in the oven?
Yes.
I'd say probably about 45 minutes on that
Do
one.
we have room on
I
that
will
one?
get that in a minute here for you.
Okay. All right. Now, Mark, this is one I want to do.
Is this where you want your
I want mine over
mixture
there.
over here?
I
Okay.
want mine over here.
We'll
How
play
does
some
that look?
musical.
How does
Oh,
that
it's
look?
great. Yeah.
Looks great. Okay. This is something that we're going to do here.
And it's okay to have your celery and onions a little bit firm. You know, so, you know, some people like it when they have their stuffing that has a crunch to it because it actually gives you a texture that you
Love
would
it.
not normally get. You know, and even with the almonds, you know, that's a texture thing. So anytime you can add a little texture diversity to something, it works. So, yeah, you don't have to overcook.
Now,
and
Mark, this is a product I love.
what do you got going on here?
This is a Leahy gravy. It's one
Right,
of the
right,
best
okay.
vegan gravies on the market. There is none as good as Leahy.
And we don't work for them either, but they're really good, so check them out.
I want you to be able to enjoy the products like I enjoy them. But what I'm
Get that on
doing,
camera.
Leahy
Leahy.
foods.com. Tell them Mark and Melanie sent you.
LeahyFoods.com.
But what I did is I mixed the brown and the chicken because I want
You're
what,
taking
Mark?
my secrets, aren't you?
I want a turkey. I want
Yes.
a turkey. So
Anytime you need turkey flavoring, you mix half chicken and half beef. Chickenless, beefless. I mean, we've done it for years in restaurants, and nobody has ever known that it's not turkey.
I need some of that water.
In fact, I
Shoot
would
you a little
would
water.
guess that most of the turkey gravy that you get in restaurants
Is beef and chicken.
doesn't have any turkey in it. Is that enough? Or?
Yes, that's
Okay.
plenty.
It is just beef and chicken gravies mixed together, and boom, you got turkey. I'm giving away all the trade secrets. I'm going to have these chefs call me up saying, "Don't tell those people that. They'll quit coming in our restaurants."
It works.
So,
Okay, now
Yeah.
I hope I should have about a cup of the Leahy gravy mix in here that I mix together, half of each. So we do components, you know, half and half to be the same. And about 4 cups of water. Mark's gonna stir that for me.
it's this going to thicken up into a gravy or thinner than a
It should.
gravy?
Now, I didn't measure that water going in there, so I hope it does.
So, but that's your flavor. Do you need any other flavors in it, or you're pretty much getting your flavor out of
I'm getting
the
all
gravy?
of my flavor out of the gravy. You can shoot a little McCase chicken seasoning in there if you want. You might put a little bit of sage, so everybody's different. Rosemary, I love rosemary. I just don't think you can get enough of it. But that should have a really good texture to it already. I'm going to reuse this. No, I'm going to use this bowl right here because I'm not going to have you pull all of it.
Okay.
I'm just going to put some of this. Okay, I know I'm messy. This is a gluten-free. I want you to see you can do gluten-free, and you're probably saying, well, Melody, your gravy mix isn't gluten-free. They have gluten-free as well.
Now you dried these, didn't you?
These are dried. I left them out. I wanted them to dry a little bit.
Which is going to take up more of this moisture. So I think you're probably about just right with this.
More of the moisture. All right, Mark, if you'll just pour some of that over here. Let's see how much we're going to get here. A little bit more. And I say use your favorite gluten-free bread. I love DeLand, it's my favorite. Their millet special, it doesn't say gluten-free, but it is. I love the DeLand. But most of the stores, even Aldi's now has gluten-free bread.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are carrying them.
So this is actually a stuffing that's not your traditional stuffing with the savory and the sage and the thyme. It's got it's a gravy based.
It's a gravy based.
So you don't need to go by the book, by the way stuffing is traditionally made. And in fact, I would tend to wonder when stuffing was originated.
I wonder.
I know it was in like the 1300s, but I'm not sure exactly what they were stuffing or how they created it. They probably just getting rid of leftovers like this, just boom.
You
Hey,
know, my
this is
mother
what we
always
do.
made a stuffing, and she put it in a casserole dish and baked it in the oven. She did put stuffing in the turkey when they ate turkey. I've always been a vegetarian. And it was wonderful to give those flavors to the turkey, but we really ate the stuffing that she made in the casserole dish.
Look at that. All right, so that's probably going to be a 30-minute one in the oven, huh?
Probably.
And one more you got? I think we got one more, don't we?
I do. You know what I want to do here? Right here. Oh.
Cornbread.
Let's do I love cornbread stuffing. It's probably one of my favorites. And we can either do the traditional, we can take some of the traditional, add it to the gravy mix, or we can do one of it. It doesn't matter.
Well,
do whatever you
know
like.
what we like to do?
Yes.
A little of both, especially on the end.
Oh,
So.
look at that. How about a little rice in there?
Because I want to get some color in here. Okay, but yeah, let's get the color and the sage in there. And I'm going to go right like that. I think you're going to be about just right there. Get that color in there. Now, cornbread, too, is a little more difficult to work with.
It is.
But as long as you're light and delicate and don't overdo it,
And you
you're
know,
gonna be
that's
fine.
just about where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and don't worry if you got a couple dry pieces in there.
It's okay.
It's okay because as you bake this, that moisture is going to expand all throughout. And a lot of stuffing, you know, they'll do that in the they'll do it in the saran wrap it even. You can saran wrap it in order to get the moisture working. And what do you think? Something like that?
I love it, Mark. I put a little rice in with that. If you wanted to, you could pour a little more of the gravy on top of it.
I was just going to do that too.
My brain and Mark's brain should have been in the same head.
Yeah, I was going to go right like
that
that. I was going to
awesome?
go like this.
And a few
Just
almonds
for
on
some
top.
color. Yep, exactly. And boom, boom, boom. Just
Love
like that.
it.
Good to
How
go.
gorgeous. All right, now,
Woo!
what else do we
We've
have?
got a lot of things here. We can fill that
We
last
still-
pumpkin up right here.
We
I'll
can.
grab this over here.
We're going to put the rice,
Yeah, let's try one with this in there because
about these
I'm real curious about
portobello
this
mushrooms.
gravy.
He is curious.
Yeah. Well, sometimes Melody does things differently, and most of the time they turn out really, really good. And then, you know, sometimes I do things differently, and
They
most of
turn
the
out-
times they
turn
they
out really
pretty
good.
good. Yeah. So,
Folks, it's not just about the flavors. It's being together over the holidays with family, the people you love, and sharing stories throughout the year. You know, that's what holidays all about. But if you notice more comfort, coming at the table when everybody's sitting there eating and talking about past events in their lives, the things that they've done. I mean, the food is a social place. And so we want not only for it to taste good, but we want it to be healthy for you. That's the most important thing, is the health.
Exactly. You know, that's the whole purpose of us doing these events, is to teach you how to eat healthier, how to eat smarter, so that you'll live a healthier, longer, more vibrant life. That's just what we do. So, boom.
Oh, Mark.
With flavor, with flavor.
Oh, he hasn't tasted this yet. You know, he doubts. He doubts. He's not, I can tell by his tone of voice, you know, I wonder just how that's going to taste.
That works.
It really works, doesn't it? Wow.
Sometimes Melody will go a little low on salt, things like that. But,
Because I don't use them myself, but when I cook for others.
that's one of those things that you can salt or, but that's fabulous flavor, especially with the mushrooms.
Oh, yes. Love
All right.
it. We're
So
gonna,
this one's going to go in the oven too.
I think we've used up just about everything we have, but how about, Mark, if we take all these, put them in the oven, bake them off, and come back here and show you
Exactly,
what
that's what we'll do.
We'll be right back.
Oh, we got, all right. Well, everybody, we got so many stuffings here, we don't know what to do with all of them. I think I'll give you this one.
And no turkey.
Yeah, no turkey. Yeah. Hey, how do you like this one?
I love that. And that's a little bit of cranberry on top
Yeah.
with some almonds and bell pepper, red bell pepper.
Gives it a nice color, doesn't it?
Really nice. Great flavor, too, I'm sure.
And then this one.
This, okay, I'm going to put, looky here. This is, you know, this is what really happens when you're cooking in the oven, isn't it,
Yeah,
Mark?
hide that part. Aren't we supposed to hide that?
No, it's the truth of cooking, but show them what you do to.
What she's talking about is these areas here that have really went over a little bit. Any culinary show you see on the planet will actually wash those. They'll scrub them up and they'll get them all cleaned up before they bring them out. And but not here. We really want to show you what the reality is of the kitchen, not the fake kitchen that most people show you. And oh, how's those looking?
What do you think?
Yeah, there we go. These you got to be a little careful with, and what I would suggest doing is spin them around with the knife and pull them out and put them on a plate and then warm them up, because you're going to
Yes.
want to let these cool in
Yes.
order to get them out. And then once they're cooled, you're going to want to warm them up a little bit. But I think that's the challenge, is because you're never going to get them out of there hot. They would
And
just,
you know something they could do, Mark? An idea that I would probably do myself is I would probably take a little bit of that leftover gravy mix and maybe just top off the top of it.
oh,
You
put
know,
a little
just
drizzle over the top.
Just
Yeah,
drizzle
I
over the
like
top.
that.
How beautiful that would be.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 more here.
We do.
And you know what Melody is doing right now? She is teaching you
How to plate.
a little bit about color.
Color. Now, what color do you like the best? And I'll tell you what color I like the best.
Well,
Everything looks
everything
great
but the
on white.
blue.
Now, I like the blue.
Yeah.
I do. I like the visual of the blue, but I love the golds that come off
This
the
one,
fumes
yep.
right off of the gold and the red. I love that
The
one
red,
just as well.
that hits.
And the green even
yeah.
looks really nice. So see what happens in
Especially
white.
if you had some little red pepper on top.
A little red pepper too.
If that was a red pepper one.
Oh,
that would,
I've got something. Move some of this over, Mark.
oh, we've got the big enchilada coming out. Okay, here. This is what we got. But look at this. You got corn stuffings. It is so easy to do stuffings, and this is a little bit of the advanced stuffing. Woohoo! Look at that. Now let me tell you, this baby right here, you can see how it's soft and pliable. That's what you want. It's a little browned on the top, which is okay. And if I share with you my knife here, I could actually cut right into this. Yeah, it's soft enough that you could
Yes.
cut right into it. And then I've got my tops right here. So you just put the top on like that, and people are going to look at that, and they're
And
going to
that's
say,
how you would
wow.
serve it.
Look at that. Isn't that
Wow, that is so pretty.
great? We should have been a cook.
We should have been chefs.
Yeah, we should have. We
I
should have.
know.
Yeah.
But, you know, we should have thought of this
What were
stuff
we
a long
thinking?
time ago. Who knows?
So
We had one in saran wrap right here
now that's because
We
it
wanted
will
this-
keep the moisture in it.
to keep the moisture.
That's for Brenda. That's for.
This is Miss Brenda's
that's
here.
Brenda's
That's why
VIP
he
right
did that
there.
too.
Yeah.
Do you have a fork?
I'll try that one. I want
Do
to
you have
try
a
that
fork?
one.
Which
I do,
one?
right here. I got
Which
a couple
one
of
do you
them.
want to try?
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
Now
That's
what?
the one with the mushrooms, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was a little wet. Remember, it was a little wet. Oh, it's steaming. Look, it's steaming hot. So be careful. Don't try this at home, kids.
This is Mark. You got to try the cornbread one.
That one's
Try
perfect.
this one. That is so yummy.
Really good.
And the rosemary. Did you taste the rosemary in that?
It's not dry. It's not.
No.
It's moist.
We'll have to do a program and show everybody how to make my cornbread. Because I don't use
Yeah.
dairy, and I use.
And it's gluten free.
It's gluten free. You can do it gluten free or with the wheat. But this is the gluten free one. Try that one.
That scares me.
Does it really?
Well,
I think you're really going to like it though. It's
some
got
of the
great
gluten-free.
flavor.
Did you try it?
No, I'm waiting on you to put it over
You
here.
just know.
I just know. I just know. Good.
The gravy makes it. It's like built-in
It
gravy.
does.
Sauce with it. So, cranberries.
Mm.
There are lots of different variations you can do on these. Right now, today, I think this is kind of the advanced program. It's not even the gourmet. We can do stuff that is far more gourmet. But we want to just teach you how to make your life easy at home. And so this is one
Yes.
that you can run with tons of different varieties.
I love it. I mean, I can't wait to try one of those.
Those look really good.
I wasn't really all that hungry till we brought all the stuffings out of the oven, especially the pumpkin. Now, man, I could just dig right into this. This would be like my meal. Little green beans with that.
And so
yum.
healthy. Very little oil.
Oh,
We
it
didn't use
is.
hardly any oil.
It is. I love this stuff. You know, Mark, I hope people out there that are watching that you don't wait till just Thanksgiving or you don't wait till Christmas to do something special for the family, because I think this is something I like to have year round. Maybe not every week, but it is something to have special, maybe every month or two on the table.
Yeah, and if you look at the different things you can stuff, I mean, not just pumpkins, but you can do stuffed
yes.
zucchini boats.
Oh, yes, you can.
There's so many different
Eggplant.
things.
Eggplant is
Yeah,
another good one to
ooh.
stuff tomatoes.
Yeah,
You
simple
can do
things.
Simple things. I mean, potatoes, you can haul out the potatoes like twice baked, but instead of putting the potato back in, you can mash that up and put some of the stuffing inside of it.
You know what might be interesting too?
What's that?
Is if you took this stuffing, smashed it down, and actually pan fried it, and used that as your bread for a sandwich or a burger.
Or baked it.
Ho, 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 ho.
Mark fries, I bake.
See how we come up with inventions though?
You know, we have
You
done
just
it
press
just
that
off the
down.
cuff. There's
Yeah,
been sometimes
yeah.
him and I will be cooking something, we'll say, hey, let's try this. And I love that. Be creative in the
Absolutely.
kitchen. It's a canvas,
Absolutely.
isn't it, Mark?
Be creative.
It's
Yeah.
a canvas. So I'm so glad that you joined us again here in the kitchen with Mark and Melody. And hopefully you come back next time. Have a great holiday season or any season to eat something like great stuffing.
See you next time. Just a reminder, our books are available on the website. We've got Vegan Simplicity available. We've got Melody Purdyman's book available, Simply Yummy. Really good, great recipes in that book. Simply incredible. 400 pages, full color. And our newest edition is the Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. And this is a great 12-part DVD, has 4 discs in there, and it has a really great insight about how to take those steps one step at a time and start getting healthier. And so this is one that I think you'll really enjoy. And all these are available, chefmarkanthony.com, and we'll see you next time. right. Well, how you doing there? We've got one text coming in.
I just have to share this one with you.
Is this one I don't want to hear? Is this?
Tell that.
Are you getting an offer for another date? You know how those single women are. They get offers all the time.
It says, tell that tall, handsome chef guy that you're sitting next to that I think he's really cute and I'd like to go out with him sometime.
No. Yeah, sorry, ladies. I'm already married, very happily married. I hope that's my wife that's sending this text.
I think that's a hoot. Are you blushing?
No.
Oh, look.
No.
Yeah, he's off the market, girls. 2 years now.
Yeah, 3.
Is it 3 now?
3 years,
3
yeah.
years. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow. Does it seem that long?
Yeah. No. Well.
Okay. Yeah. You're supposed to say no.
It's kind of both. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like we've known each other forever,
And that's a good thing.
And then time flies by so quick.
That's
though,
a good
so.
thing. Yeah.
And that's why you want to get healthy now,
Yes.
because time does fly by so quick, and before you know it, you're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror saying, I can't believe I used to eat the way I used to eat.
I know. We both say that.
Yeah, and if you just keep taking those steps every single day, eat less, eat those carbs and those
Fruits and vegetables, whole grains.
salads and
Yes.
healthy foods.
Yes.
You're going to be amazed at the difference, and God's going to do amazing things in your life. So, I know we got to go. We're running late. So you be blessed, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen.
Goodbye.